from Color and Plan with Allie, and I'm here today to share with you my March and April coloring haul. And I want to say from the start that yes, I do buy a lot of stuff, but I wanted you guys to know that I am a stay-at-home mom, but I also work from home and I make a good deal of money on my own. That does not we don't actually need that money to run our household or anything like that. So the money that I use to purchase these things actually is generated by my own side hustle business. So I know some of you will probably wonder, like, where does she get the money to buy these things? That's where I get it. I make a good amount of money each month, and I've decided to invest it into my hobbies and try to turn that also into a business. So that's part of the reason why you might see me spending a lot of money and having rather large hauls. Some of this is to start my YouTube coloring kind of side hustle, so I just wanted to make that clear from the get-go. The first set of products that I'm going to introduce that I've hauled in March and April, and keep in mind this is over 2 months, is my Crayola products. And some of these products I've already talked about in my first video when I went over my Crayola collection, but these are just the things that I've added in March and April, and it was quite a lot of it. So and I've even added some things since that video. So without further ado, here we go. One of the first things that I hauled was this 32 count of Crayola's Colors of the World crayons, and they come with an additional 8 colors, I think, for hair and eyes, and I thought that was really cool. I didn't know that they had a 32 count box of these, so of course I had to add them to my collection. I'm a Crayola collector. I hauled these Crayola blend and shade colored pencils from Amazon, and I'm currently working on filming a review of these as an upcoming video for my channel, so stay tuned for that. I believe these were a March haul, and I've already broken into them because I love them. These are the Crayola Pipsqueak Skinnies. I talked about those in my other video talking about my Crayola collection. These I hauled after that video, and these are 64 count markers. It includes 32 from the Colors of the World collection. And again, you know, I had the 24 count of these markers for Colors of the World, but these include the additional colors for hair and eyes. So there's that. The 40 Ultra Clean Washable markers in the fine line. I'll hold those in April. These are a new addition. I already had a set of these, but my kids got hold of them and colored all over them with some kind of green gunk. So I went ahead and purchased another 24 set of these. A new set of 100 color pencils for the same reason my kids got a hold of my other set. And that's fine. These aren't too expensive, and I don't mind repurchasing these as often as I need to. These 30 count of Crayola Twistables. This 152 crayon Ultimate Crayon Collection Caddy I also purchased. I think this was in late March or early April. This was in April. Finally got the 120 set, which I've been wanting for a while. And the 50 count of Crayola Twistables. The big 40 box of washable markers. I think they call this like a classroom pack. The 50 count of twistable crayons. These are a new Crayola product. These are fine line Colors of the World markers. They do not include the extra colors for hair and eyes, but I did manage to find these at Walmart and I snagged them up. And one of the newest additions, and I talked about this in my Crayola collection that I wanted these, and I found them at Michael's, and I had a good coupon to use, so I went ahead and purchased these. They were very inexpensive. And the tower like pulls up from the middle, and then you get like this nice little, I don't know, layer cake of markers. It's really neat. So I have these as well. And that is my Crayola haul. That's the part of the haul that's from Crayola for March and April 2022. The next part of my March and April art haul are my colored pencils that I bought. And I got several big wish list items this month. This March and April were really, really good months for me for my ghostwriting business. And so I went ahead and invested the money in some things that I've been eyeing for a while that I wanted to test and compare for my channel, as well as just enjoy using them in all of their wonderful glory. So the first segment, these are my colored pencils that I bought, and the first brand that I bought from is of the incomparable Caran d'Ache. And the first set that I bought, and you guys, I have full set syndrome. I cannot settle for a 24 count. I cannot settle for buying them open stock. I cannot settle for the second largest set. When I go all in, I go all in and I buy the entire set. So the first ones that I bought were the Caran d'Ache 120 Super Color, and these are watercolor pencils. And I recently learned that the red Caran d'Ache tins versus like the black Caran d'Ache tins is like their student versus professional grade. But honestly, guys, I mean, we know that Caran d'Ache is just all good stuff. And these were a really good price. So I went ahead and picked them up. And I am so excited to test them against my other watercolor products. Like, I had already owned the Faber-Castell Albrecht Dürer and the Arteza Expert watercolor, so I am looking forward to having like a head-to-head battle on my channel with these wonderful pencils. The next set of pencils that I got from Caran d'Ache are the 120 Pablos. And I have owned these before, guys, and when I first tried them, I was convinced that I did not like them. At least I did not like them better than my my beautiful, lovely polychromos. I thought they were very similar, and I thought maybe I even liked the Pablos a little less. But after I sold them, I regretted my decision because I really didn't give them a good fighting chance. I only like swatched them before I sold them. So I decided to go ahead and repurchase them and actually do a few coloring pages with them and see if my opinion changes. And I think even after using like the polychromos more, I have fallen in love with just oil pencils and layering and all of that kind of thing. So I knew I had to get these back in my collection. So here they are, and I am not going to let them get away this time. So the third set of pencils, you guys, I never dreamed that I could own these. And a little bit of a backstory is that I had 3 babies back to back, like 9 months apart between pregnancies, and that really, I fell into like some sort of a pregnancy related depression, because my normal energy is like so high energy. I want to get everything done. I'm very goal driven. I love all of my hobbies, and I'm introverted, extremely introverted. And I need those hobbies to keep me sane while I'm raising my family. And I love my family, don't get me wrong. But if I don't have things that make me feel like me and not just a mom, I get very depressed. And I start to have very, I guess, self-sabotaging thoughts. And so for a long time, I was in this deep depression. Until just recently. It's been almost 2 years since my youngest was born, and I finally feel like I've regained myself. Long story short, when I got my ghostwriting gig, it really helped reignite the fire of all of my passion that I once had for writing and everything creative. And when I first started out with coloring, like every time I would see these pencils, I would be like, I will never own those. Those are like so out of my league. Those are so beyond me. Like, how would I even use them? It reminds me, if you guys ever watched SpongeBob, there's an episode, I know that's so weird and so childish, but SpongeBob was my jam growing up. And there's an episode where he buys this fancy new French spatula instead of just using like his old trusty spatula, and it was like supposed to be this lesson of like just use what you're used to and don't forget where you came from kind of thing. Well, I own these lovelies now, and I don't want to fall into the trap of thinking like, oh well, I can never use like Crayola or Black Widow or anything like that ever again, but I've always wanted to try these. I've always wanted them in my collection, and of course you guys know, or you will soon know, that I have full set syndrome very, very badly. But I found these, and it just, so I put them in my cart, and I was like, I'm not going to buy them right now. I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to put them in my cart, and I'm going to wait. Well, the price dropped like $100 like that same day, and I was like, okay, this is my sign. I need to go ahead and get them. And they are now mine, and I am so excited. I swatched them already. I couldn't wait. These were like so like tempting to me, so I couldn't wait to open them. So you'll notice that like I took all the plastic off, and I've already like broken into them. But I feel so lucky and so blessed to own these, and I am looking forward to doing a lot of wonderful coloring pages with these for you guys on this channel. And it is my hope that these will help me to become a better colorist and a better artist in general, because these are, guys, when I swatched these, they were like such a dream to swatch. I just enjoyed the entire process, and that's what art is supposed to be all about, right? You're supposed to enjoy the process. And I know that experience is not guaranteed with every pencil brand, we'll just say. The last purchase of colored pencils that I made, this was more of a backup purchase than anything else, because I already owned the full set of these, but you know how it goes. If you own these bad boys, you know how quickly you run through your favorite colors. And my local Michaels does not carry, there were several colors that I was running low on that they did not carry open stock, and I did not want to have to pay like $5 shipping on top of the $3 per pencil or $2 per pencil. So I just went ahead and bought a backup set. Michaels had their lowest price of the season sale, and these came down to comparable to Amazon's price, and I needed like my colors that day, so I went ahead and bought these. And I haven't like re-swatched them or anything, but I love having a nice backup set. These are like my go-to everyday pencils, so I'm very happy to have a set of those, and I'm very happy that they came down pretty much. I mean, the regular price at Michael's is like $200, and I got them for like $110, so that was a pretty good deal. And that's about comparable to what they are on Amazon, but I'm impatient. I didn't want to wait for the shipping, and I also didn't want to take a chance on pencils breaking during shipping, because I've had that happen too. So the next set of products that I have, that I've hauled, most of them are Caran d'Ache products, but there's also one that I bought at Michael's, and these are art crayons. And so the first product I have is these Creatology, the Michael's store brand, silky crayons is what they call them. My kids own a set, and they have those gigantic Crayola pages, and I was doing some experimenting with them one day when I was just down on the floor with my kids, and I was blending out skin tones, and I fell in love with the way that these blend together. It was like so creamy and so like perfectly blended, and I was very curious, so I bought myself my own set. These were very inexpensive, like I think around $10 or less if you have a coupon, and it comes with 24 colors. And I mean, the the title Silky Crayons is accurate. They lay down very silky, almost like paint in a stick. So, and it says they are blendable and washable. So it was perfect for, they're perfect for kids, but also perfect for, you know, curious adult colorists like us. A tool that I purchased from Caran d'Ache was their palette Aquarelle, and I've heard Colorfully Optimistic say wonderful things about this palette, and I have yet to really jump on the watercolor pencil crayon train, but I really want to get into that, especially for my channel. And I have so many watercolor pencils, and I need to start actually using them as watercolor pencils. So, and one side is smooth and one side is rough, so that you can color your crayon or your pencil on there and then use a wet brush and use it like watercolor. And that really, really intrigued me, so I went ahead and purchased one of these so I could do that. The next one is the Neocolor One Metallics from Caran d'Ache. These are not water soluble, but I will say I've swatched these and they are very silky, very shiny. They have a nice sheen to them, and I am getting into mixed media art journaling, and I'm looking forward to using these for that. So I may or may not make a video about my art journaling spreads, but if I do, then you'll see me using these, because that was the primary reason I bought these, was to use in my mixed media journal. The next product is the full set of the Caran d'Ache Neocolor ones. These are not water soluble. I have also swatched these. I've swatched all of the ones, excuse me, that I have bought from Caran d'Ache, and they lay down very silky, almost like the silky crayons that I was talking about, but a little bit harder of a feel, or more waxy of a feel. But the colors are brilliant, and you can like feather them out kind of like a pencil. And I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with these other than mixed media journaling, but I mean, I'm already in love with them, so I'm going to use them. I'm just not sure if I'm going to like actually do like a whole coloring page with them, or if I'm going to use them more in like an auxiliary kind of way. And the last product that I bought, you guys probably already know, the full set of Caran d'Ache Neocolor 2 Aquarelle. And these, I have not tried the watercolor effect with them, but again, I have swatched them, and their colors lay down beautifully, and there's a lot of different colors available. And I'm looking forward to using these for all kinds of things: backgrounds, full pages, mixed media, art journaling, the works. So I'm very happy to have these, and I might even try some like pastel paintings. I really am interested in basically everything, and I know it'll take me a while to actually get to all of the different things that I want to learn how to do, but I'm just so thrilled that I now have the products here, and when I have a moment or have the urge, I can just pick them up and start learning new techniques. The next category of product I have for you are markers, and I have both paint type markers and like water-based markers to share with you. And they're all from the same company, which you will probably recognize. So the first purchase that I made was this set of Brush Marker Pros. I think this is the full set, but it includes the neon colors of these. I just recently found out about these products, and I love using water-based markers for especially color by numbers, but I also want to try, I bought you'll see in my haul later that I also bought a watercolor coloring book, and I'm really fascinated to try these out with that watercolor coloring book. So these are the Caran Brush Marker Pro plus the neon colors, and I'm very excited to try these out. I have not swatched them or really done anything with them yet, but I'm very excited to do so. And the next product is the Deco Brush from Karen. I got the 10 metallic markers. I have actually used these in a project. I made a birthday card for my mother-in-law, and these wrote very beautifully. I think I used the black, but there's several different metallic colors in here, and the ink comes out very, very, I don't want to say watery, maybe juicy is a better word. The tips were very saturated with the ink, and they don't have so much of a sparkle as it is just like a flat matte sheen to them. But it comes with some very nice colors, and I like the little tin that it comes in, and I have enjoyed using these so far. The last item in the marker category, this is quite a heavy product. Oh my gosh, okay. This was kind of a last minute splurge because I went ahead and bought the metallics, but then I was like, I might want the regular too. And then I found out that they have the whole set available in like this neat little box set. And how this works is, I haven't taken the plastic off yet, but each of these is like its own individual little box full of the colors of the Deco Brush. And I think from what I have read is that they are a pigment based ink, but they're very opaque, kind of like a paint marker, but they have a brush tip. So, and we know how good brush tips are for coloring and just sweeping color or even lettering. And a lot of people use these for lettering. And they come in different like color sets, like basic, passion, violet blue. This is probably going to be my favorite. Nature, the nude colors, gray, and pastel. So I'm really excited. Sorry, I'm sniffing a lot and my allergies are going crazy. But I'm really excited to break into these and swatch them and start using them in my coloring. Guys, I can't believe that I forgot these in my marker haul. These bad boys. Whoop, let's zoom out. These are the 200 set of Ohuhu alcohol markers. They are, see if we can zoom in. These are the chisel and fine. I already own the 216 set of brush and chisel, and I love them. But I was finding that I needed a very small tip for some of my more intricate coloring that I like to do with alcohol markers. So, and they didn't have the 320 set available because I know that's out there. And I did own it at one point, but then I was like, I think 320 alcohol markers might be too much. And I'm still undecided whether or not I'm going to maybe sell these and get the 320 set, or maybe gift these to my sister who's an artist. And then buy the 320 set. I don't know. These might be plenty, but I want to compare them to the colors that I already have and see how many like matches I have, because that's the main reason I bought these, was to supplement my set of brush tip Ohuhu markers for those finer details that I can't quite get into yet. I have a little bit of an unsteady hand, so sometimes I need the extra help of a very fine tip to help me. The next set of products that I have in my haul, so this is going to be a super long video. The next set of products I have in my haul is what I call tools, just things that are not necessarily mediums or coloring books, but are things that I need to work with my mediums or coloring books. So the first product is this Artify set of brushes, and I think I took them out of the box before, but they come wrapped in this canvas roll, and it comes with like a palette knife and just all kinds of different sizes of brushes, because I'm really wanting to get into especially gouache coloring. I'm actually taking a class right now through Coloring Bliss on exploring gouache, and so I knew I needed more brushes than what I had, especially like these angled brushes. So I purchased these, and I'm hoping that these will be a good set just for general use with more heavy mediums like gouache or acrylic. I already have a set of watercolor brushes that are specifically for that, and I have those portioned off with my watercolors. So but I needed more springy, sturdy brushes to use with my more creamy, thick paints like gouache and acrylic. And then the next product is just this pan pastel palette tray. You guys will soon learn that because of my full set syndrome, I have a lot of full sets of things, including the pan pastels. I have the 80 color set and the pearlescent and metallic mediums. But what they come in is these like gigantic 20 hole trays. And I did not want that. Like, I have limited space on my desk, and so when I'm working with them, I want to just pull out the few that I need on this smaller little tray and be able to set them aside and know that these were the colors that I needed for this project. So I went ahead and bought just a little tin pan tray to hold my pan pastels when I'm working with them. We're getting close to the end, guys, I promise. So the next product that I have, sorry, it's not out of the plastic, and this is kind of crinkly, is these bad boys. And Jennifer from Coloring Bliss, Jennifer Stay, if you're watching this, I blame you entirely. I blame you for this purchase. She recently did a huge art haul as well on her channel, and she had picked up these Stabilo Carbothellos, the whole set, the 60 set, to do for her. She's actually running a, if you're a Bliss partner, she is running a exploring pastel pencils for colorists on her website. She does all kinds of these wonderful workshops, and I basically learn most everything that I know about coloring from her. And she had bought these on her channel, and I could not resist because I'm also going through that class, and I wanted a good set of pencils. I own a set of General's chalk pastel pencils, and I do not like them, and I have found that I'm not the only one who feels that way in the art YouTube world. And she had recommended these as like a good, a really good pencil for the money that you pay for them. And so I went ahead and picked those up so that I could do her exploring pastel pencils class, because I'm very curious about the world of pastels and I want to learn everything that there is to know. So I went ahead and picked those up. The next set of products, and I think this is my final set, are my coloring books and sketchbooks. I just group all the books together, just all the books. I can't believe this is already dirty. I don't know what happened to my brand new watercolor sketchbook, but that's what this is. I am pretty sure, at least. Actually, no, this is not the right sketchbook, but it looks similar to this. Let me find it. Here it is. I was wondering why that looked weird. So I picked this up from Michael's. It's just a little basic hardcover watercolor spiral bound notebook, and my intention was to use this as kind of a swatching book, very thick paper, to play around with some of my water soluble mediums so that I could have just a place to play around with it before I actually get serious and put it on, like, use those tools on a coloring book. Speaking of coloring books, are you guys ready for this massive haul of coloring books? So let me preface this. You are about to see a lot of books by one particular author, and that author is Camellia Angelkova. She makes very affordable, very cute coloring books, and I have a piece of construction paper in here because I was working on this piece. I think there's a photo of this up on my Instagram, but I colored this with gel pen, sparkly glitter gel pen. But I had this for like months, and I started coloring in it, and I've had the rest of her books on my wish list for a while, and the opportunity came up while I was doing the rest of my hauling to go ahead and pick up a lot of the ones that I was missing from her collection. So I picked up 50 Delightful Fairies, and this already looks super amazing. This is probably my favorite one. I love anything to do with space, and it's just a fairy staring up at a shooting star, and it's so beautiful. And I cannot wait to jump into this book. Also have 50 Nighttime Mandalas on a black background, which I love. I have, there you go. I gotta dig to the bottom of this pile. I also have 50 Ocean Miniatures. I bought a lot of the books in her miniature series. 50 Beautiful Mermaids. I love mermaids. One of my young adult, actually the one that I'm about to release, is a young adult mermaid fantasy, and so you got to know that I was going to get a book about mermaids. I got 50 Summer Miniatures. I mean, that cat on that sandcastle is adorable. I'm digging out the rest. I also got 50 Spring Miniatures. Cute little bunny. 50 Halloween Miniatures. I think these are on, yeah, these are on a black background. 50 Christmas Miniatures. I know we're way away from that, but I mean, these were just too cute to resist. 50 Easter Miniatures, and that's right around the corner. So cute. 50 Winter Miniatures. Aren't these penguins just adorable? Like, this looks like me and my husband drinking coffee. 50 Autumn Miniatures. The little porcupine. And 50 Splendid Princesses. I'm a sucker for anything like fairy tale, fantastical. I mean, it's what I write. So there you go. I was totally influenced to purchase these books by Sarah Renee Clark here on YouTube. I can't remember if it was this one or this one, but I saw that there were two, and I just went ahead and bought them. And these look so neat, and I could just throw one of these in my purse if I have a long road trip and just do some of the prompts to break out of a creative block. And I really like that idea. I also got several color by numbers. They're my favorite things to do when I'm feeling just kind of meh. I don't want to fool with picking out a color scheme. I just want to sit and color with my tools and just be happy. So I have several of those. I'm just gathering them together. So first one is this space coloring book with a black background, and it's by Color Questopia. Apparently they make a lot of cute color by numbers, and I just recently finished this one. I did not wait long enough for my stickles to dry, apparently, because they got all over the page, but that's okay. I still like how it turned out. Calm color by numbers. I actually don't remember if I bought this in March or April, or if I think I bought it like early March, so it feels like it's been a while. But I love this whole series. I think it's made by Sirius is the publisher. They have several in this collection. I think this next one is also part of it. The Animal Kingdom, this was a recent. Just all kinds of color by number animals, and these are pretty intricate, so I like that too. I have the Creative Haven Around the World, which looks really neat. I like that the lines and the numbers are a little bit fainter, so the finished product looks less like a color by number. And there's also the Country Scenes, which reminds me of Family Vacations to Gatlinburg. I just recently bought this and started on a piece, sneak peek of a piece for, find it, a sneak peek, my Kentucky Derby piece. I do live in Kentucky, and the Kentucky Derby Festival is a huge thing. I actually grew up in Louisville, which is the hometown of the Kentucky Derby, so it's near and dear to my heart. I picked this up, like basically any color by number that seems like something that I would like, I pretty much just pick it up. This one is by Susan Lind. And then this one was really interesting to me. This is 2 books in one, and it is specifically made for Prismacolor. Like the entire color palette is based off of actual like Prismacolor pencils, and they give you the numbers for the pencils and you can fill them out here on your little chart. But these are super intricate, and each picture is of a nebula, like an actual like photo of a nebula, and that just like made my heart happy. And I thought it was a really creative thing to do to like match it to a particular set of pencils. And I know some people won't like that because they may not have the Prismacolors, but I have tons of Prismacolors, so it was very appealing to me for that reason. I also bought my very first Hannah Carlson book, and I purchased this one in particular because I knew it was more of like a best of collection. There are several of her books that I've been eyeing for a while, but I wanted to get a taste of the way her books are made and the way the paper feels before I invest in more. I think Sarah Renee Clark just colored this on her channel. So I am looking forward to coloring these. These are such beautiful illustrations, and to be honest with you, I'm a little intimidated. I'm a wee bit intimidated by this book, but I am determined to use it and enjoy it and love it, because what use is it to buy a coloring book if I'm going to be afraid of it? So I'm trying to move forward with that kind of an attitude of just going for it, learning as I go, and just enjoying. And, you know, a lot of people on YouTube just go back and buy second copies as their coloring style changes, because, I mean, we're all going to grow and advance, and that's what it's all about. The next one is this one a random one that I found at Michael's. Get Creative 6 is like the publisher, and the pages are super thick, and that was one thing that was really interesting. And then it gives you like these little tutorials about how to shade with colored pencils or markers, and they're single-sided, which I like. But yeah, like, I mean, that's some pretty thick paper. So I am interested to color in this, and this seems kind of like springy, summery type pictures, so that'll be a good one for this year and the seasons that are coming up. These 2 books, they seem like kind of the same. Yeah, I think they're the same, like they're part of the same series, but these are like scriptural quotes and a picture that you can color. Not all of them are scriptural, just some of them are just like motivational or like aspirations or whatever. But the pictures and the quotes in here just kind of spoke to me. I'm a big quotes person, so. And this one is kind of similar, but I think this one is actually more specifically religious. So not everyone may be into this, but I really liked it because I am actually a traditional Catholic, so I take my faith very seriously. And what better way to spend a little free time than by meditating on little bite-sized pieces of scripture while I color. And the next books probably don't need any introduction. These are, I bought all 4 in the series of the Colorist special effects guidebooks, because I am confident that they will help me to up my game, especially with certain objects that I don't yet know how to color. So yeah, I have all 4 of them, and I am very excited about taking some time to look through these and being able to reference them when I get stuck on a page. I'm very, very happy with that. So there were actually a couple of coloring books that I forgot. The first one is this Painterly Days by Christy Rice, called the Flower Watercoloring Book. And oh, no, it came with a bookmark. That's cool. There are just all these beautiful, lovely illustrations and quotes. And you can just watercolor these flowers to your heart's content, and that's what I intend to do. I'm going to do a lot of practicing and experimenting with this book, and if I really like this book, I plan on buying some more from this author, Christy Rice. So I'm looking forward to using this. And the next one is just a little book that I picked up from Walmart. It's called Timeless Creation Stained Glass, and I like the really bold, thick lines, and that can just really make it the stained glass style. I really like that style. So you'll probably see a lot of stained glass coloring books when I go through my coloring book collection in a future video. So that was my haul for March and April, and I hope that you guys enjoyed it, and I know that I am very blessed and very privileged to be able to share this haul with you. I know not everyone can afford to have hauls like this, and a lot of you may want to, and I just want to recognize that privilege that I have. So I am looking forward to using these coloring books and new mediums to become a better colorist, a better artist, and to help grow my channel, and to grow alongside all of you other lovely colorists out there that are watching me right now. And I want to say thank you for supporting my channel. Thank you for watching my content and for following me on Instagram. Every little thing helps, and it helps motivate me to keep going and to keep making content for you guys. So thank you for your support, and I am probably going to do a special giveaway either later this month or in May, so please stay tuned for that, because I want to be able to give back to the community that is enabling me to do this and to start this business. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, I hope that you will hit the like button, and also that you will subscribe so you won't miss any future content. And I hope that you have a wonderful, colorful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!